34,000 pounds of black powder were spilled in the mixing bowl area of Springfield, Virginia. And this was a hazardous emergency situation because black powder is highly explosive. As a spatial analyst, I have determined how to appropriately respond to this emergency situation. So the scenario breaks down to this area right here in the southeast area portion of Fairfax County, where 95, 495, and 395 converge onto one another. The state and county police were the first ones on the scene and got a GPS waypoint of where the actual incident took place. And it took place on an on-ramp going from 95 to 395. And the decisions that I need to make going forward is to determine where to draw the line for the evacuation zone, where to locate the evacuation shelters, which roads to close to the general public, which roads to close to everyone, how to redirect traffic flow, where to have the helicopter landing site, and how many people to evacuate. In order to make these decisions, I'll need information on the black powder, what is within a half-mile radius and a mile radius of the incident, and the number of houses and schools near the accident site. I also need the roads and network of the roads in order to use network analysts to determine rerouting from the site. These are excerpts from the MSDS sheet for black powder that the police used to determine how to respond to the spill. And what this tells me in application to spatial analysis is that I need to isolate within a half mile and a mile from the incident site. And this is as per OSHA regulations. I will use these distances for my buffers. And right here are my buffers. So this is a half-mile radius, and I can't really see behind this, but I'll show you in a later slide, is the mile radius. And Lindbergh Elementary, Robert E. Lee Elementary, Springfield Estates Elementary School, and Key Middle School are all schools within the mile radius from the incident, but they are not in the evacuation zone. So I'm determining the half-mile radius as the evacuation zone and the mile radius as a danger zone. And within the evacuation zone, there are 1,059 single-family homes. And using a 2 to 4 family average home, that is approximately 2 to 4,000 people that will need to be evacuated from their homes. This incident happened at 4 a.m. in the morning on a Wednesday, so most people were probably sleeping, if not awake and like getting ready for work. So it's definitely going to be a lot of getting people out of these areas and closing roads so that morning traffic doesn't affect the spill cleanup. In order to help with the spill cleanup, the emergency responders requested a helicopter landing site. This yellow circle right here is the helicopter landing site. Although it is on the other side of the highway, I chose to not put it on this side of the highway, on the east side of the highway, because that's where the cleanup crew is going to be. That's where there's going to be the most chaos. That's where the turned over tractor trailer is, and figured getting people in and out efficiently would be best away from the actual site itself, but within a 5-minute walking distance. My first detour to go around the site is detouring around 395, and it's about 3.5 miles. Second detour going around the incident site is 3.8 miles, and it detours I-95 and I-395. My third detour, and on this slide you can also see all 3 detours together, is 9.2 miles, and it redirects people around 95 and 495. And after keeping people out of the incident site, the next problem to attack is going to be getting people into the shelters, because they cannot stay in their homes with that much explosives nearby. Again, this is just some details on Detour 3 and about the directions and about how it avoids the entire danger zone and evacuation zone, and it's the longest and most intensive. So that's one that there's going to be a lot more police efforts in maintaining because of how much ground it covers and the amount of turns involved. So getting people out of their homes, waking them up, and evacuating people, they're going to be going to Lindbergh Elementary School and Robert E. Lee High School, depending on where they live. These 2 shelters were housed 2 to 4,000 people within the 1,059 homes. And on the west and like northwest area of the incident on the west side of the 395 and south of 495, you can see the Lynbrook Elementary School is going to be taking everyone from that portion out of the evacuation zone. To the east of 395 and still south of 95, there's going to be more extensive evacuation, probably going to need more police efforts there too, because multiple neighborhoods and lots of little side streets all going to Robert E. Lee High School. The evacuation zone in general is the third deliverable for this project and involved network analysis. Overall, the explosive scenario tells us a lot about how to appropriately respond and think spatially about a situation, because the news briefs that we hear on the radio and on ABC or NBC or whatever C type news that people go to in the mornings when they wake up are usually just brief snippets of the actual situation involving only the basic information that can be shared with the general public. And without spatial analysis, a lot of this information would be harder to get, and it would be more chaos in the morning when people wake up. So spatial analysis helps us quickly respond to these situations and have the most information to provide to the general public, so minimizing chaos and confusion when people wake up in the morning.